We all have times when we worry, whether it's about work, health, family, relationships, and so on. But is there a point where you can think and worry too much? Well, today I'm going to discuss overthinking and address why do people overthink so much, what are the common thought patterns for overthinkers, and how to stop overthinking. So let me get right into it. Overthinking. This is the unhealthy habit that typically causes more stress by focusing on the negative. And this is usually dwelling on the past and worrying about the future rather than problem solving. You end up ruminating on an issue without coming up with logical solutions. It's almost like a broken record of negativity that replays repeatedly in your head. So why do people overthink so much? Well, this habit of overthinking can be very hard to break. It's a very vicious cycle of negative thoughts that builds and builds, and it feels like you're spinning down this rabbit hole. So you might start working about a specific situation at work, for example, and this leads you to worrying about money, and that leads you to worrying about losing your job. So why do you tend to overthink? Well, overthinking can be a symptom of stress, anxiety, or depression. While overthinking isn't a mental disorder in and of itself, it can be connected to generalized anxiety disorder. Those with general anxiety disorder, GAD, tend to worry excessively about many things and may experience the following: worrying excessively about many unrelated things for at least 6 months, having difficulty controlling this worry, and the anxiety that interferes with the ability to function on a day-to-day basis. Overthinking can also be the result of feeling restless or agitated, having difficulties concentrating, as well as difficulties sleeping. So what are the common destructive thought patterns of overthinkers? Well, when we overthink, we usually become more anxious, and due to cognitive errors, how we think. These are basically errors in logical thinking. I'm going to give you some examples of what I mean by common cognitive errors. Catastrophizing. This is when you imagine a worst case scenario as the inevitable outcome of a situation you're worried about. Another is all or nothing thinking. You may feel like you're struggling at work, or on the flip side, like you're the employee of the month. It's all or nothing thinking. There's no gray area. But in reality, most things in life are somewhere in between. Another is overgeneralizing. When we experience a setback or failure and generalize that event across all situations, we may wrongly assume that things have or will always go wrong for us. While anxiety tends to be more future-oriented, you may also struggle with overthinking of the past, and that's connected more with depression. You can be dealing with depression and anxiety at the same time. And experiencing two mental health conditions at the same time is called comorbidity. Now, how to stop overthinking? Well, one is to try talk therapy, such as cognitive behavioral therapy. It helps you learn how to identify your negative thoughts and then challenge and reframe this thinking in more logical and balanced ways. Cognitive behavioral therapy also teaches you how to cope with your worry and anxiety in healthier ways. Another thing you can do, this is something you can do on your own. Set up a worry period. Choose a time in the day to implement a worry period for about 30 minutes. I wouldn't go much beyond that. But during that time, you write down all your worries. Then you go through your list and highlight the worries that you can problem solve, that you have control over. These are things you have control over. Then spend some time brainstorming solutions for the items you have no control over, like how someone else might react to a situation, and work on letting them go until your next worry period. Again, you might need the help of a therapist, but if you want to do this on your own, by all means, I encourage you to do that. Another is rethink your what ifs. Do you constantly reflect on questions like, what if I lose my job? Or what if I get sick? While having these thoughts is normal, it becomes a problem when you focus only on the worst case scenario. So for every what if worry, change this to an if then statement where you come up with a then I will do or say this. If that what if or even worst case scenario does happen, you focus on having a concrete plan in place. Another thing you can do is challenge your negative thoughts. You may think that your boss hates you or you'll never reach your fitness goals. Instead of letting those negative thoughts take over, Challenge and reframe them into positive, empowering thoughts. Ask yourself, is that thought helpful? What's the evidence that my negative thought is true? Is there an alternative possibility? The goal is to try and have a more balanced perspective. Another strategy you can do is distract yourself. A healthy distraction can be very helpful, like the meditation, reading, even taking a walk. These can help keep your stress levels down. You can also share your thoughts and feelings with someone you trust, such as a friend, a family member, or your therapist. Please try to practice self-compassion. Now, you probably know how to show compassion to your mom or a friend, but what about yourself? What does your inner dialogue sound like when you face a problem or a challenge? It's really about being able to extend love, kindness, and forgiveness to yourself. In doing so, you can have a clearer mind with which to problem solve your situation. When to ask for help? Well, while everyone overthinks sometimes, if you've been unable to control how much you worry and it starts interfering with your ability to function, it may be time to seek help from a professional. You may as well start experiencing physical symptoms like irritability, fatigue, concentration, or memory difficulties, as well as insomnia. Excessive worrying and stress can also lead to or intensify digestive issues, plus cause tension in your shoulders and your neck. Sometimes you don't even recognize that you're worrying at the time. It's happening because, well, we're just not aware of it because it becomes so automatic. But with cognitive behavioral therapy, you actually learn to recognize that you're actually starting to spiral and that you're having these unhelpful ruminations. And you practice by writing these negative thoughts down, challenging and reframe them. So in essence, you develop an effective toolkit for coping with overthinking. Now, it's my hope that you've learned something from this video, and if so, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment below of what resonated with you. I also have another video I want you to watch. It's called How to Better Manage Stress. And if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do so. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please comment below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody. Take care. And remember to keep your mental game on.